Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia and Young Justice is back. Well, today is the day. Young Justice returns on HBO Max for a 3-episode run, kicking off the second half of the season. This arc will focus under the sea, and we're going to get to know Kaldur and his life a lot more interestingly. Let's prepare for our trip to Atlantis and beyond, and dive into the episode with a full review and a little bit of a recap. Now, before we do this though, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. Also, the big giveaway. We're going to give away this Oculus Quest 2 at 50,000 subscribers. All you need to do to get in on our giveaway is be a subscriber and leave us a comment. Also, while you're at it, make sure you check out our Stay Whelmed line of merchandise down below. It's a great way for you and your friends to feel the Aster, crash the mode, and stay whelmed, all while supporting this channel. We also have some pretty cool Restore the Snyderverse and CBN merchandise, so make sure you check that out. Well, what a great kickoff to the new season with 3 full new episodes. They're entitled Nautical Twilight, Ebb Tide, and Emergency Dive. So make sure you update your secret message scorecard. We got a lot to talk about, but if you haven't seen this episode yet, go watch them first. We'll be talking details and I don't want to spoil it for you. Now, once again, Greg Weisman and crew have delivered some pretty great episodes. We got the deepest dive into DC's Atlantis, its people, culture, heroes, and past I think I have ever seen. We got some details on our time-traveling heroes and their mission, a still spiraling Garfield Logan, a mega update on Connor Kent and his fate, as well as Violet exploring herself spiritually, but let's start with some high-level observations. As always, the animation from Studio Mir in these episodes was top-notch, along with the voice cast who continue to bring their A game. We actually got quite a few characters in this first drop, and honestly, everybody brings it. If you like the first half of the season, this will make you feel right at home. We are getting some interesting time-oriented points here though. We actually jump back to the point of Kaldur and Dick notifying Artemis of Connor's death, meaning this story is going on while Artemis's arc is also going down. We also see a bit of Dr. Fate and his time-traveling crew in the first 3 episodes as well, and the direct impact of Child is actually felt in Ebb Tide. Now Kaldur is the focus of this arc, but we have several arcs going on. Along with the Atlantean arc, which has a ton, we also have Superboy, Garfield, and Violet, so let's talk about each separately. We'll start with the primary storyline focused on Kaldur. Now shortly after Connor's death, Kaldur heads to Poseidonus for a delegation, and this kicks off the main Atlantean plotline. The story continuously reminds us of the weight that Kaldur has been carrying both above and below the surface of the sea. I honestly have started to worry if this is some sort of foreshadowing of a tragedy that's impending. Even Kaldur's parents get in on the show here, and I don't think anybody should dismiss this lightly. Now, this is probably the biggest collection of DC Atlantis and underwater characters I have ever seen in any form. That's not a joke. Now, there is actually a delegation that represents all the city-states of the nation of Atlantis, including Mira, Vulko, Aiden, Garth, Kaldur, Lord Ronal, Topo, Coral, Nawe, General Lori Lamaris, and Calvin Durham, with only the representative from the Kingdom of Zebel missing from this collection. Now, the kingdom overall is faced with many real-world political problems. Atlanteans in this arc, much like the Martians and Megans, are sadly a lot like humans, with very similar concerns, limitations, and emotions. We see a lot of dynamics and rivalry play from this collection of aquatic characters, and many were actually in the Conservatory of Sorcery together back in Season 1. You might want to review that episode before you watch this one. We also see the return of Lagoon Boy, we get to meet Aquaman's son Aquaboy, and we get a nice status update on Delphina, aka Dolphin. Now the Underwater Council is actually attacked during its second gathering by Ocean Master, who has found some way to return. Quite honestly, he is totally winning and laying waste to the group when a mysterious stranger shows up and saves everybody. Now the stranger drives a lot of conversation about a prophecy. The prophecy of the one true king, a savior that will come to the aid of Atlantis when it's needed and serve as a uniter. This turns out to be a very popular concept in these politically trying times in Atlantis. When the impact of Child and Flaw's chaos attacks manifests in Atlantis, we see this come to a head. Mera and Kaldur are trying to hold off the chaos magic set to destroy Atlantis, but they are not enough. Ironically, Ocean Master shows up to save the day, pointing out he doesn't want to rule a dead city. Then they are joined by the Stranger, and the three take on the chaos magic and defeat the fire column and its aquatic life destroying red mist. Now, predictably, Ocean Master turns on everyone once the battle is won, and tries to destroy Mera and Kaldur, but his attempts are completely thwarted, he's defeated and then captured by the mysterious Stranger. After some convincing, the Stranger actually reveals who he is, and it's pretty crazy. He's actually the first king of Atlantis, Arion. Eventually, this is confirmed by his DNA and the evolution of his magic by Mera and a team of Atlantean scientists. But something is obviously off. Kaldur, Wynn, and Lagoon Boy set off to Zebul in an attempt to locate Arion's crown. Aquaman has a Justice League scan of the area, and it clearly shows a secret ocean underneath the city, which he believes is the original Atlantis. Now, if you remember correctly, the crown is an artifact of order and a very powerful magic item on Earth 16. Zebul is in upheaval due to the rumors of the one true king returning, and using this as a cover for the team, along with Dolphin, they find their way into the underground ruins and end up being trapped there, with their fate still unknown by the end of episode 16. Arion himself becomes the subject of mass infatuation by the Atlantean public, and they believe he is truly fulfilling this prophecy, and quite honestly, he may be. But Orin and Mera want to make sure. King Orin investigates more into Ocean Master after he appears to remember some events incorrectly. This reveals that Lady Shiva actually did indeed kill him a good time ago because the Atlantean scientists figure out he is a clone. Before this is revealed though, Arion disappears, leaving his intentions unknown. It appears that Arion might not be the ancient Atlantean, but some sort of agent of the light. But again, this was not revealed as of yet. Now, the third part of Kaldur's arc didn't finish it, so indeed he is getting at least 4 episodes. The Atlanteans were pretty awesome, and this has really been some awesome location and character arcs, giving us much more of the underwater world we have ever seen. Now, another big part of this episode was Superboy, and well, fans will rejoice. Even though we were teased in the closing of the first half of the season on Superboy, we get a ton of confirmation this week. Superboy actually awakens in a strange land that is clearly the Phantom Zone, with an injured Phantom Girl. This episode seems to confirm one of our theories, but let's let the show play it all out. Throughout the first 3 episodes, Phantom Girl is never revived, but is alive and Connor is left to fend for himself. He eventually has a ton of hallucinations, and this gives us some insight to what's happening inside his psyche. He actually sees several of these hallucinations, including himself, Superman, Magan, and Wally West. But I did notice one of those was quite different than the other. Everyone Connor hallucinated was a normal, full Earth 16 color, his mental memory of them. But Wally was not. He was actually presented as another person in the Phantom Zone. Now, this could have totally been in Connor's head, but this very well might be the biggest clue to the actual whereabouts of Wally West. We'll be doing a solo video on this very, very soon. Additionally, along with the part of Superboy's story, we get a major additional entry. Now, we knew Clark Kent was going to be part of this episode, and he is actually confronted by the surviving 2 members of the Legion. They've revealed that they were actually sent back in time to keep Superboy safe for a special event he must help with, and they believe they have failed. And of course, they lost their companion, Phantom Girl. They eventually convinced Clark to fill this role out, but it appears to not have worked because the timeline did not reset, and this leads them more interestingly to Impulse. Now, we don't know where this is going, but Impulse here and that weird Wally West in the Phantom Zone makes me think Wally might be returning. Can you imagine? And yeah, we actually predicted this. Now this brings us to Garfield Logan, and wow, have my patience for Garfield started to run super thin. Seeing him reconnect with Megan actually made me hopeful, but the wheels inevitably fell off that wagon, and honestly, Garfield was really mean to Megan, leading to her to plan an intervention. Now this so-called intervention really brought a lot of heroes together, and that part of it was pretty cool. Blue Beetle, Static, Cassie, and Robot Man all plead with Garfield, and quite honestly, he was downright awful to every single person. Robot Man even recalls the whole Doom Patrol dying out and how Garfield drug him out of the swamp, but I do have to say it was pretty interesting having him recount what happened to his Doom Patrol companions. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, and things are looking pretty bleak for Garfield. I suspect nothing short of Connor Kent's return can save him at this point, and even if he's saved, I'm not sure he'll be able to keep the same friends and relationships he had before. Now, the most personal arc though was probably Violet Harper's, aka Halo. We dive quite deep into Violet's story over these episodes. As fans know, Violet actually inhabits the body of Gabrielle Deo. She was a Karaki refugee whose body was inhabited by the spirit of the mother box that is Violet. She reaches out to Gabrielle's real mother in order to understand her own faith and how important it was to Gabrielle. It's mostly a character introspective on her discovering herself, but there is a lot of discussing of her faith and Violet trying to understand it, and how this drives her place in the world. We ultimately see Violet in the credits become who she is. She is different and is actually a mother box. I'll leave that part of the episode up to you to interpret. Overall, I enjoyed these first 3 episodes quite a bit. Honestly, I don't believe Arian is who he claims he is, and I do think Superboy is in the Phantom Zone. Both stories will probably be resolved in the next week. Now overall, I'm going to give these opening 3 episodes all the same score. We're just going to go with an 8 across the board. I'm not sure where they're going, but I love the deep dive into Atlantis, all the aquatic characters, and the big reveals surrounding Superboy were quite exciting. I know most of you guys are going to love that. So until next week, I gotta know what you guys think. What did you think of these first 3 episodes of the second half of Young Justice Phantoms? And do you believe that was Wally West in the Phantom Zone with Connor Kent? I'm not gonna lie, I totally do. Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you're not gonna get any updates. Peace.